There's a quiet kind of pain that comes from studying for hours and still not seeing results. You sit down, open your books, highlight a few lines, maybe even re-watch a lecture. But when the test comes, it's like your brain never saw that information before. You tell yourself, maybe I'm just not smart enough. But here's the truth. It's not about how smart you are. It's about how you study. Because science has shown again and again that most students spend their energy on the wrong things, methods that feel productive, but do very little for real learning. And the difference between an average student and a top performer isn't some secret gene or natural gift. It's small, repeatable habits that reshape the way the brain learns. So in this video, we'll go through 5 powerful study habits, backed by research, that can help you study less, remember more, and finally feel confident walking into an exam. These are the same habits used by high-performing students from Harvard to Tokyo. And once you apply them consistently, you'll notice your focus getting sharper, your stress going down, and your results improving, quietly but steadily. Let's start with habit number 1. Most students reread notes. They highlight. They copy summaries. But here's the hard truth. Rereading feels comforting, not effective. The real key to remembering is called active recall, the process of testing yourself rather than just reviewing. Every time you force your brain to recall information, you're literally strengthening the neural connections around that memory. It's like lifting weights for your brain. A study from Purdue University found that students who used active recall scored up to 50% higher on exams than those who only reread their notes. Here's how to do it. After a study session, close your book. Try to write down, from memory, everything you can remember. Then check what you missed. You'll feel the mental effort. That's your brain learning deeply. When I started using this, I noticed something strange. I studied less, but I remembered more. And that feeling of blanking out during exams? It just disappeared. Our brains are built to forget. And that's actually a good thing, because forgetting and then relearning is what strengthens memory. This is the foundation of spaced repetition, a method where you review material at increasing intervals over time. Instead of cramming the night before, you review a little today, a quick refresh tomorrow, then again after 3 days, then a week, and so on. It's like revisiting old friends. Each time, the bond grows stronger. Apps like Anki or Notion flashcards can automate this for you, but even a simple calendar reminder can work. There's a reason this technique is used by medical students, people who have to memorize thousands of complex facts. When you space your learning, you're not just memorizing. You're transferring that knowledge into long-term storage. It's quiet, consistent, and powerful. The kind of progress that sneaks up on you. Here's something most students get wrong. They study one subject, one topic, in long, uninterrupted blocks. Math for 2 hours, then history, then biology. But the brain doesn't learn best in neat categories. It learns by contrast, by noticing patterns, differences, and connections. That's where interleaving comes in. It means mixing different topics or problem types within the same study session. For example, instead of doing 20 algebra problems in a row, you mix algebra, geometry, and word problems. At first, it feels harder because your brain has to work to switch contexts. But that's exactly why it works. Research from Stanford University found that students who used Interleaving performed 43% better on problem-solving tests than those who studied in blocks. It's like training in different terrains. It prepares you for the real exam, where questions are rarely grouped by topic. So next time you study, try to mix it up. Confusion, in this case, is a sign of growth. There's a myth that good students study for hours without stopping. But real focus doesn't work like that. Your brain has a limited attention span, roughly 25 to 45 minutes before performance drops. That's why top students use focus cycles. Short, intense bursts of concentration followed by short breaks. The most famous is the Pomodoro technique. Study for 25 minutes, rest for 5. After 4 cycles, take a longer 20-minute break. But the time doesn't matter as much as the rhythm. It's about giving your mind a clear on-off pattern. So when it's on, you're fully engaged. During breaks, step away from screens. Stretch. Drink water. Let your brain reset. This cycle does something important. It prevents mental fatigue before it starts. When I first tried this, I was surprised. I actually finished more in 2 focused hours than I used to in 5 distracted ones. Productivity isn't about how long you sit. It's about how present you are when you do. The last habit is less about repetition and more about connection. The human brain doesn't store facts. It stores meaning. If you don't understand why something matters, your brain won't hold on to it. This is where deep processing comes in. It means asking questions while you learn. How does this idea connect to what I already know? Where would this apply in real life? Could I explain this to someone younger than me? That last one, called the Feynman technique, is incredibly effective. When you can teach something simply, you've understood it deeply. For example, when I was studying psychology, I used to imagine explaining concepts to a 10-year-old version of myself. Suddenly, the theories stopped being abstract. They started to make sense. Deep learning feels slower at first, but it's what separates memorization from mastery. Now, a quick warning. Even with all these habits, many students still fall into one of 3 traps. Trap 1. Trying to use every method at once. When you overload on systems, you create stress. Start with one, maybe active recall, and build from there. Trap 2. Mistaking planning for progress. Making color-coded notes or watching study videos can feel productive, but it's often a way of avoiding the real work. Real learning happens when you struggle a little. Trap 3. Comparing your progress to others. Everyone's brain works differently. Some learn fast, others retain better over time. Your only real comparison should be who you were last month. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress that sticks. Let's quickly recap what we covered. Active recall. Don't just review. Retrieve. Test yourself often. Spaced repetition. Review at intervals. Let forgetting strengthen memory. Interleaving. Mix different topics. Confusion means growth. Focus cycles. Study in sprints. Rest with intention. Deep processing. Understand and explain. Don't just memorize. These are the habits top performers use. Not because they're smarter, but because they understand how the brain truly learns. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's this. Be patient with your progress. The results won't come overnight. But 1 month from now, if you apply just one of these habits, you'll notice the shift. You'll remember more. You'll feel less anxious, and studying will start to feel lighter. Because great students aren't born, they're built through quiet, consistent effort. So, pick one habit. Try it for a week. Then come back and tell me what changed. And if this video helped you, consider subscribing. Not for motivation, but for methods that actually work. Because learning doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be intentional.